Naz here on the Spooling Up channel, back on the MK2 Fiesta XR2. Got some good jobs to be done today. Let's get into it. Right guys, so I'm currently sitting in the Mk4 Golf GTI. I'm just on my way to Euro Car Parts to pick up some bits for the Fiesta XR2. Just want to give it a mini service before I start trying to actually start the car. So I've got oil and filter, I've got a fuel filter. The spark plugs that are in the car are pretty much new already. I've also got a new coil which I'm picking up now, and I need a few other bits as well before I actually try and run the car and drive the car, but for now this will do. So yeah, just a little mini service so that if I do get it started anytime soon, everything there's healthy, because I think the oil has been in the car, it must have been in there for like 10 years. The fuel filter's probably been on there for about 10 years, so it's time to give the car a good freshen up. So just on my way there now, and I'm gonna get home and get everything whacked on. Okay, so I was gonna do the full oil change today. The oil filter's down here, if you can see it, but what's actually happened is I ordered a load of bits from Euro Car Parts, and Click and Collector, when I went to go and collect them, they told me that the coil and the oil filter weren't available till tomorrow morning, so I've got to go and pick them up tomorrow morning. I do have the oil, I do have the fuel filter. I've ordered a bit of fuel hose from the fuel pump to the carburetor, because for whatever reason that's missing. It's probably somewhere in my shed, but either way, why not replace it? And then yeah, so what I'm going to do first of all, drain the oil, remove the filter, leave it draining overnight, because obviously I won't have some of the bits till tomorrow, and just make sure that I get every single little bit of oil and gunk out of the sump tonight, so that'll be all fresh for the morning. Right, so come under the Fiesta now, because we've got the sump and the sump plug, oil filter up there, my trusty little drain tray, which is like a storage box. But yeah, first things first, I just want to say I'm going to dispose of this oil properly. I'm not just going to dump it down the drain because it's bad for the environment. So that's a 13mm on that sump plug. Just going to go ahead and crack that off now and start draining it in here. Then I'm going to be using this oil filter wrench for the oil filter, just to grab that off. It's just a screw-on filter, and then I'll just dump that in there, let that drain off in there as well, and then leave that overnight, because I won't have my bits till tomorrow, and then that's it. Typically these oil filters, they don't need to go on tight. You can literally do it hand tight if you want. So I've got my wrench on here, expecting it to come off pretty easily. There we go, got it moving. I've already loosened off the sump plug, but because of space, I wanted to make sure that I could get both of them loosened off, so I can just slide the tray underneath. And the annoying thing is that oil's just going to drip all over that drive shaft, but we'll have to deal with it. Just quickly, here's the screw-on oil filter. I've got a man filter replacement, but like I said, I've got to wait till tomorrow. That's how you know this car hasn't been run for ages, because it's literally dry in there. So I made the schoolboy error of letting the sump plug drop in here. Got to use a magnet to get it out now. So the oil absolutely stinks where it's been in there for so long. Going to leave the sump plug there draining for a minute. The washer's stuck to the sump, so I'm going to peel that off and of course replace it with a new one before I put the oil back in the engine. Right, so next thing, I'm going to be installing a fuel filter to this flexible fuel hose here. I couldn't locate one on the car anywhere. I thought there might be one down near the tank somewhere, or even possibly just here in the engine bay, or just down below the bulkhead, but there isn't. So I'm going to pull this hose off, and I'm going to install my own one halfway through. I've got a fuel filter from Euro Car Parts, so I'm going to go and put that on there now. So here we go. This is the 8mm fuel feed pipe. This is the 6mm return, and I've just ordered a 6mm pipe for from the pump to the carb. The two pipes are actually coming into the engine bay. They're actually rigid, and they turn into flexi, obviously, in the engine bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a section out of this, incorporate the fuel filter into this hose, get that all sorted and put it back on. Right, so that 8mm fuel hose, the feed, what I've done is I've cut it at either end just to neaten up the ends of it because they were quite raggedy, and I've cut a section out of the middle. Here I've got my fuel filter. This is the one that was recommended from Euro Car Parts. They only had one and it was difficult to find any other one. It was $11.99, so it was expensive. Of course, it's also directional, so want to make sure that the flow is going up towards the engine bay. So I'm just going to attach it either end to these hoses, put the clips on, slide the clip back on this end, insert it to the hard pipe at the bottom of the bulkhead, and then back onto the top end where the fuel pump is, and then that is the fuel filter installed. Okay, so here we have the inline fuel filter fitted to the fuel hose going up to the fuel pump. It's nice and flexy, guys. It's not too tight because obviously everything in here is going to move, so you don't want it pulling on these hoses too tight. That's all good. Literally got to wait for this hose here to arrive, the carb to go on, coils coming tomorrow, and also the oil filter. The oil stopped draining now anyway, but I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to remove all of this oil away and dispose of it and the filter, and get a new washer for the sump, and obviously put the plug back in, and then I'll probably wind out the spark plugs, see if they need a good clean up, and just quickly check the gaps on them just by eye, see if any of them look a bit odd, and then that will be it for now, I guess, unless anything else crops up that I find that I can do quickly and easily while I'm shooting this video over the next few days I've got off work. If not, I'll finish this video and I'll start a new one for the next couple of things that I'm going to be doing, for example gearbox oil, and yeah, just generally trying to get the car started. Right, so I've managed to get my oil. It's the Shell Helix Professional 5W30 oil for the Fiesta that I'm going to be using. Just a pretty simple screw-on man oil filter, and I've managed to get a new washer for my drain plug. So what I'm going to quickly do is just wipe down the face of the sump where this is going to be mounted so that it mounts nice and flush, and I've also poured a tiny bit of oil through the engine just to wash out any remaining nasty oil that's sitting in the bottom of the sump, and some did actually come out, so I'm glad I've done that. Now I'm going to concentrate on getting this plug back in, the filter on, and then putting 3.5 litres worth of oil into the engine. Did also get my coil. It's an intermotor coil. I don't know whether I'm going to be putting that on today or whether I'm going to leave it for the weekend in the next video, but either way things are definitely coming along. So looking at the sump, because it's at the bottom of the engine, this is where all the nasty stuff that runs down the engine over the years collects and sits on, so you get a lot of grime, dirt and build up. And there's also some cat fur from underneath here where they seem to love sitting underneath this car because it's all covered up and everything. It's probably quite dry for them, so I'm just going to clean all this up now. The drips of oil that are coming through are just that new oil that I poured in to clear out sort of what's sitting here. But obviously where the sump plug is at the lowest point of the sump anyway, so you should be able to drain off everything. But if there are some bits of dirt sitting in there, this might just help flush them a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to wipe all this up now, get rid of that grime, and see if we can get a nice clean mounting surface. So there we go, looking nice and clean now. All that dirt and gunk's gone. We'll clean up the rest of the sump once I've done this job anyway, but for now I'm going to go ahead and put the plug in, put the filter on and start filling this bad boy up with oil. Here's the oil filter with this. All I've literally done is put a little bit of oil around the sill just so that it slides on to the block of the car nicely, and then I've cleaned up down here as well just to make sure that everything goes together as it should and nothing's contaminating it. So I'm just going to put this on hand tight, give it a little nip up, tiny nip up with the wrench, because these don't really need to be that tight at all, and then that will be it. I'll just literally pour the oil in, and then that's the oil and filter change done. Right, so time to check the oil level now. Got my dipstick ready and wiped. Let's just see what's going on. Right, so that's about right. I was expecting it to be just over the max level, obviously because I haven't actually run the car and started it yet. So looking to get it running real soon, and then once the oil's been pumped around the engine and there's oil in the oil filter and so on and so forth, I'd expect it to be reading bang on the max. But for now, what I'm going to do is the whole service on the engine's finished. I'm going to grab the coil now. Before I was saying, like, you know, I might do it the weekend or whatever, but I'm just going to do it now while I've got the time, because I really need to get this car done and I want to see it running. I want it on the road, so I'm going to go ahead, do that coil now and stop being lazy. So here's the coil from this 1 litre Fiesta. Obviously it was mounted there like normal, with the positive and negative wires on it, and these 2 screws which I've stolen so that I can mount it on this car. I'm just going to give these a quick clean up because I don't like the look of this one. Luckily the new coil comes with a bracket as well. I've never ordered them before, so I wasn't expecting it to. I thought I was going to have to steal this one and clean that up as well. So I'm literally going to sort these out, and then go ahead and get the coil out here and then throw it on the XR2. Another thing is as well, I don't know if any of you guys know or could clear this up for me, but I wasn't sure whether the coils were the same for the different engines on these Fiestas. I honestly wouldn't have a clue. I would have thought that you needed a bigger and more powerful one for the 1.6 engine opposed to the 1 litre, but I'm not too sure, so I just went and ordered a new one anyway because I wanted to give this car the best possible chance to start up again. Right guys, here's the new ignition coil. It's an Intermotor one. You can get these for about £20–25, but not I couldn't find an Intermotor one for that price. I'm aware that this is normally quite a good brand, so this is why I went for it. Let's have a quick look. See if I can get it out of the box. Here we go. Nice, brand new. I also actually had to search around for this lead, which obviously goes from the coil to the distributor, but I found it. So I'm gonna throw this on as well, obviously, and then that is pretty much things done. I'm gonna have to leave doing the spark plugs till the next video, and the next day I'll get a chance to work on the Fiesta because I'm running out of time. But I'm gonna quickly throw this on now. Okay, so now that the coil is on the car, all I got to do is connect the wires up, obviously negative to negative and positive to positive, and then once that's done, literally it's time to connect this lead up. Okay, so here we go now. Literally got this HT lead going all the way from the distributor to the coil. Coil's all linked up to the loom itself as well. The only thing I don't like is that this seems a little bit short. I don't ever remember it being like that, but it seems like it's the tiniest bit too short, and it might like sort of maybe pull itself out one day. But for now I'm gonna have to deal with what I've got just in trying to get this car started. So yeah, that's everything I'm gonna do today, guys. So yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been pretty successful, but I've run out of time, so once the weekend comes, gonna have to finish off the rest of the things that I need to do. Right guys, so I'm gonna end things there today. I've done quite a lot actually, but I've got some other things to do, so I'm gonna throw in the towel for now. But I will be back with more stuff on the Fiesta really soon. More stuff on the Golf as well. Like I said, I'm just waiting for bits. It's really annoying, but what can you do? All you can do is wait, and then when things come, just try and crack it out on a day off or something like that. But yeah, another thing as well, shout out to all you guys that have subscribed recently. That means a lot. It's nice to know that you're enjoying the content, and shout out to anyone who's followed me on Insta, Snapchat, anything like that. Even if you've dropped me a message saying nice one, enjoying the videos or whatever, it all means a lot. So love to you guys, nice one. See you on the next video.